Hey everyone, Cody here, back with another episode of Oregon Coast Toy Fanatics. Um, Went for a little drive to a town about an hour away, over in another valley. Um, Been hearing about the store over here for a while now. It's called Heroes Haven. Been here for like 30 years, something like that. Heard it's pretty cool. They have a lot of comic books I'm looking for. Uh, just a lot of different random stuff, magic cards, stuff like that. A lot of pop figures. So let's go in. We'll check this place out. See if we can pick up anything good. Hello everyone, Cody here with Oregon Coast Toy Fanatics, back again with another episode of my latest pickups. As you saw in the first part of the video, I went to a place called Heroes Haven in Roseburg, Oregon. Store that deals in comic books, games, and toys, and other items as such. Pretty good sized place for such a small building. A lot of stuff there. Unfortunately, they deal in a lot of newer toys and newer comic books, and they deal in a lot of D&D type of stuff that I saw on one side, and of course they got Funko Pops, which is always an interest of mine. Just didn't feel like picking any up from there at that time, but a pretty good size selection of Funko Pops. they did have a couple of vintage toys I'm interested in. They did have some vintage Transformers in the case up front. They were just a little bit out of my price range of what I'm looking for, so I didn't get any of those. Other than that, they pretty much didn't have anything vintage toys wise. A lot of newer stuff. Um, they do have a nice selection of back issues of comics, so I went ahead and scrolled through those like you saw in the video. I did pick up a few comic books, 5 to be exact, that were a pretty good price. All of them $2 a piece. So we'll go ahead and go through that real quick. I did pick up a couple of Uncanny X-Men to add to my collection. I got 189, which is a pretty sweet cover. I believe it's just a early 80s, I think, comic. In pretty good shape. There's a few imperfections on the spine, on both corners, top, bottom, and around the edges. For the most part, not too bad of shape, though a little bit crinkled, but definitely not the worst comic I've seen at a comic book store. I got Uncanny X-Men number 220. Again, this is an 80s comic of the Uncanny X-Men. Super, super cool cover. You got Storm down here looking really badass down here in the corner. Again, a few minor imperfections on the spine at top and bottom corners. Around the edges, is actually not too bad. A little bit better than the first one I just showed. One staple in the edge is a little bit pushed in and bent. Not too bad though. All in all, pretty good condition comic book. I'm pretty happy with that for $2 a piece. Got those. I did pick up the Mighty Thor comic. I don't have very many of these yet. I'm still trying to dive into that series a lot more. I did pick up number 306, and this is another early 80s comic. In pretty good shape, except for the bottom left, or bottom left on the spine, and then up in the top right corner is a little bit crinkled, and then the bottom right is a little bit crinkled. All in all, not too bad. A lot of good color on the cover still. Super great looking artwork on it. Really loving this right here. Super, super cool artwork. And the last two comics I picked up are Ghost Rider comics. I'm still trying to, definitely want to complete this series. I got Ghost Rider number 61. I believe these two are the lowest number ones I have, so I got number 61. A few minor imperfections on the spine on this one too, yet again, like most older comics are, especially around the top up here on the cover is missing some color to it and a little bit torn. Not too bad, but definitely a lot more noticeable than the other ones. All in all, it's not really too bad of shape. I'm really loving the artwork on the covers of the Ghost Rider comics so far. Just super, super badass artwork. Definitely can't wait to try and complete the entire first run of this series. Really, really loving these comics. Then the last one, of course, is another Ghost Rider. This is number 60, and this one has a lot of noticeable imperfections on the spine, especially up in the top area more. All the corners of the comic are pretty bent, especially the bottom right is bent over a little bit. This one not as bad. Another really cool art cover. That Ghost Rider down here on the train tracks, trying to reach for a bomb that's about to blow up this train. Awesome artwork. Super happy to have that. But yeah, that was my trip to Heroes Haven. Was hoping they would be dealing in a lot more vintage toys. Was kind of disappointed in that. But overall, the trip was really cool. The owner of the place is super cool. Has own that place and been there for 30 years. Awesome place. If you're ever in Oregon, over around Roseburg, definitely check out Heroes Haven if you're really into newer issue comics. He gets in a lot of the every week the new stuff that comes out, and he's got it, you know. But those are my pickups from there. I'll definitely be going back again in the future for those, for more issues of comics, and hopefully he's got some more vintage toys I can look at, and I'm definitely going to be going back for some of those Funko Pops for sure. So, got that out of the way. That was filmed a couple weeks ago, maybe even 2.5 weeks ago. I filmed that. Now, about a week ago, I ordered another figure from toy store. I believe it's called Road Toys, out of Vegas, and they actually have another location in Portland, Oregon too. But both figs I've ordered from them have come from Vegas, the Vegas store itself. Apparently, it's a pretty popular store. It was on Pawn Stars at one time. The guy's a super big time toy expert, really knows his stuff. And this is what I ordered. We have a 1990 Sewer Surfing Mikey, complete with his surfboard that says Cowabunga on it. And he has his detachable crab that goes on his foot. Just attaches down there on his left foot, on his flipper. Got a detachable belt, utility belt, or weight belt, or whatever it is. So he's a complete figure. The colors on this thing are just absolutely insane. So much color. You got the dark green for Mikey itself. You got pink, light blue, a really crazy light green, orange, red, a little bit of silver, and of course another. Just a really cool figure. He's got the two sharks on his arms, the seaweed wrapped around his neck, down his right arm. He's got the orange bands on his wrists, on his elbows, joints, down on his knees. And of course he's got his light green flippers for him to swim around with when he's trying to get out to his waves. Super excited to have this in my collection. Basically cost me a $20 bill after all the shipping. I think the figure itself was $11 by itself. And then like $8 or $9 for the shipping. A little bit more than I would normally pay for a loose fig, but I really can't complain too much. I'm super happy to have it. Has no problem standing up on its own. Able to display it with my other ones, and got his trusty surfboard here. Just hangs out. If I can get it to stand up for you guys. This is basically how I'm going to display him, just like that. But yeah, that's my some of my latest hauls and stuff I've picked up so far. I do have a few other things I'm going to go over in probably the next couple videos. I picked up several more comic books from a couple different places are close to where I live. Three awesome thrift stores I go to that always have a lot of vintage stuff that I'm looking for. But got a couple other figures, got some Star Wars figures to go over, I got some other Ninja Turtle figures, and a vehicle to go over, which is going to be super awesome. But until next time, take it easy, guys. Go check out my Facebook group, Oregon Coast Toy Fanatics. Check out what some of my other friends are picking up for their collections and displaying in their collections. Comic books, vintage toys, newer toys. I'll leave a description or a link to that in the description of this video. And go ahead and join that. I'd love to see what you guys have got in your collection, so go ahead and post your stuff in there. And like and subscribe to this video if you want to see future ones. And we'll see you on the next time, in the next adventure. Later.